So what's up, everybody? Today it's gonna be a long video, hopefully. Um, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jennifer, and on YouTube it's Prepper Girl Red 215, and I basically focus on disaster and not how-to guides per se, but just tips and tricks to help y'all out. For those who know me personally, I'm sorry about the lateness of the video. I started school today. Yes, I know. None of y'all really knew that I was actually going to go through with school. um, for those of you who don't know, uh, I am taking medical billing and coding from well, I'm not going to say because it's not paid advertisement. Uh, anyway, I'm taking medical billing and coding, and today I had my first lesson, and it took longer than expected. So this video is going to be a little bit late. It's not going to be up exactly by 3. So, um, do me a favor, drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you leave a comment about your fears or disaster or something like that, I'll get back to you. Well, I'll get back to you anyway about it, but I will certainly take a moment and try and help you through it. If it's something I haven't gone over, I'll make a video about it, or a vlog, or whatever you want to call it. To me, it's a video, so yes, I know I'm old school. Shush. Today I want to focus kind of on self-defense, and I was gonna say not camping. I was gonna say focus on shelter, but right now self-defense seems to be a pretty good thing, and I don't know why. I mean, up until about 5 seconds ago, I was gonna say shelter. So, uh, if you'll give me a second, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and gather the self-defense. Okay, so about a minute or so has gone by, and I've gotten a good sampling of my emergency security / self-defense supplies. Now, quick survey. What is the problem with carrying ammo? Uh, leave a comment down below, and a person who guesses right, I guess I'll give a shout out, because I don't really have any way to send anything currently. So just kind of imagine that little ding 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 thing going on while I give y'all time to answer. Now, for me, self-defense, since I don't have my carry permit just yet, I'm working on it. My weapon of choice currently is knives, and I like this little one. It's a nice little knife from Tac Force, and I bought this second hand and did a little messing around with the screw to tighten it up and everything. It's just a nice quick little knife. I don't carry this out in public just for a reason that I don't know whether or not it's completely legal. Knives I carry out in public are just regular pocket knives that I get from, like, hang on, let me grab one. guess it done disappeared on me. No, here it is. So, this little knife is a nice, good, sharp knife. You can see there's kind of some grunge on it. What that is I accidentally set it on fire when I was messing around with an alcohol burning stove. And it kind of stained it a little bit, but it's still a good quality knife. Nice and sharp. Also have this. This is almost Tonto style knife. It's not horribly accurate, but it's good for like cutting rope and stuff like that. It's nice and sharp too. So these 3 knives, 2 out of the 3 I know are legal. These 2. This one I'm not sure about, so I just carry it around the house. And it has a nice little ring. I can leave my finger in it. When using a pocket knife for self-defense, the main thing you want to do, if you don't have a fixed blade knife like this, and this is not legal in public, so I don't carry around, you'll have to check your local laws, but for where I'm at, 5.5 inches is the maximum you can let a fixed blade knife be. I like my knives very much so, very sharp. If you don't have a fixed blade, you want to get a locking blade. And what that means is that, and notice I keep my fingers down off of the channel, is that no matter how hard I push or pull, this blade is not going to go back into this unless I do this little switch. This knife has a little bit of a problem. The springiness of the metal, this part right here, doesn't always like to stay put. So sometimes it'll be fixed and sometimes it won't be. Like this just has a little bit of an edge. And I don't use this very often. Only for like cutting apples and such. But a fixed blade knife won't have that problem. This, so long as it locks, it's good. Again, with these big knives, they're not the best to carry around because you tend to scare people. Again, I like all my knives sharp. They're not cut hair on your arm sharp, but they work. I keep my knives sharpened, oiled, and polished, just for sheer fact of pride. On to guns. The thing about guns, and if you haven't written down in the comments, if you're going to be carrying guns, it also means you're going to have to be carrying ammo. And the unfortunate truth with ammo is that it weighs a lot. Now you can have like a dozen magazines and stuff, but it's going to pull your britches down. It's going to weigh a lot. I could have barely anything in my hiking backpack or my 3-day bag, dugout bag, whatever you want to call it. But if I carry, like I have a old metal medical kit that's full of ammo, and to put it into perspective, There's 200 rounds, it looks like, of 9mm ammo, which is just this right here. And I carry hollow points loaded just for the sheer fact that if I have to shoot something, I don't, or shoot like an animal or a person, I don't want the bullet to go through them and possibly harm somebody else. I don't want it to go through the wall and harm somebody on the other side of the wall. Normally, if I am carrying around my house, I will carry loaded. And for the sake of safety on this video, I am not going to be loading my pistol. And just to triple check, it's not loaded. Always treat your guns as if they're loaded, because if you don't, you fall out of that practice, finger slips, and suddenly you have a hole in your leg that wasn't there half a second ago. Now, I'm not a weapons guide person. I don't go through the training courses to become a teacher, but the safety is keep your finger off the trigger, off of it. Don't put it right here. Don't put it like this. Keep it up here. If you're going to be in a dark place, get a flashlight. And moreover, get a flashlight that not only has a beam, like a regular, beam, but get one that flashes. Because at nighttime, the flashing can disorient your attacker slash assailant or whatnot. It's not exactly comfortable for your eyes, but it'll disorient them. Proper care of weapon. Keep it oiled, keep it clean, and whatever you do, don't stick your finger in the chamber, because you can cut your finger off and it will hurt. Mine, usually I keep it loaded. Nowadays I keep it loaded in its holster, and I'm not going to load it. If I'm not going to keep it loaded, I leave it like this. Magazine is in, chamber is open, and this is called at the ready, which means all I have to do is pull down the lock, and again, for the sake of safety, I'm not going to do it right now. All I have to do is pull it down or pull it, and it'll unlock and load, and that'll be chambered and ready. And again, for safety, I'm not going to do this. Now, this pistol is my newest acquisition. I got it about a year or so ago, and I'm still practicing for my, I'm going to go ahead and put that down so I'm not flailing it around. I'm still practicing for my certifications. Now, pistol is close range. Chances are, if you're using a pistol or in a self-defense situation, it's going to be less than, I think, 5 yards or so. It's going to be close range. You won't necessarily need the rifle. However, and yes, this rifle is loaded with the safety on. I leave my rifle loaded and ready. And it's just a nice little 22. It was fairly cheap, as most 22s are. You cannot reuse 22 rounds. I know there's a bunch of YouTube tutorials on how to reload them. Don't do it. Chances are you're just gonna blow your finger off. I have 2 of these. They're 25 round magazines, and I find about 5 rounds in defense situation is all I really need. I have a little laser targeter that I will use at nighttime in conjunction with my flashlight. And basically what I do is I stick my flashlight on here about like this and put a bit of duct tape around it. That way I can just see where I'm pointing and shoot. Rifles, depending on their strength, they're good for about 500, 600 feet with any accuracy. It can be more, it can be less. It just depends on your training. And I don't have any training with my rifle except for what I've done. Keep them well oiled. Keep your serial numbers written down separate from your ammunition. If you have kids in the house, keep your ammunition, magazines, and such separate from your guns so that they cannot hurt themselves. It also helps to have good self-defense classes like Taekwondo, Aikido, Tai Chi, Jiu-Jitsu. Just if you can find some time to get some self-defense training in, do it because it's invaluable. This will make sure you're not lobbing stuff at people, trying to get them away from you, or in most cases it'll keep you from panicking. And I had about a year's training of Taekwondo, and I still panic. I was in a situation a little while back where I got jumped by some guys that weren't very friendly, and I still panicked. I was able to hit him in the groin and get away, but that minute's hesitation, that just tiny little bit of hesitation, could have cost me. If they were armed, I could have been really badly injured. For those of you who didn't guess the answer, ammunition weighs a lot. It's just not feasible to carry all your ammunition around. Oh, I know some people say, well, I can go out on the road and bury a cache, emergency cache, like they have in Call of Duty. Well, no. A, you don't own the land you probably don't own the land you're burying it on. And B, the moisture from the ground, whether in a airtight container or not, it can corrode the ammunition. Different styles of ammunition, like armor piercing, it's not only illegal, but it's just a waste of money. I'm sorry, that's the truth. I'm not gonna show y'all everything, but I keep a good two 22 magazines ready at all times, loaded, ready to go, just for a sheer fact they take forever to load. Fat fingers and small ammo do not mix. At any given time, I have 3 magazines, I should say, of 9mm ammo ready. I have 1 of hollow point and 2 of round nose. And the reason I have the round nose is if I'm in a situation where I have to shoot through something, say a piece of wood, or possibly there are 2 attackers, and it's impossible. It's not impossible, it's unlikely. In the unlikely situation, you're in a narrow area and there are 2 attackers, one behind another, That round nose will cut through, and you can deal with 2 attackers at once. Granted, you could probably deal with 3 at once, but it's just dangerous to have round nose. I keep, like I said, hollow points in the gun at all times. And yes, this gun is loaded. No, it does not have safety. Notice I'm pointing it away from myself. I will not point it at myself. I keep it as if the gun is loaded at all times, because there's always the chance of a misfire. I'm not going to show y'all all my defense items, just a couple. The knives, the guns, and if your city has lots of animals but you don't want to have don't want to carry your guns and shoot somebody's dog, I have a nice stick, and you probably can't see, but it's a nice long walking stick I made quite a few years ago, and I just keep it with me to remind me of all the useful times that I've had to whack a dog away from me. Believe it or not, the reach is excellent for self-defense. You can reach out about 5 feet and whack somebody on the head. Thing about long arms like this, they call them, I think, pole arms or something like that, but I just call it a walking stick. Good thing about this is you don't have to stop an attack. You can use both ends and just keep an attack going in circular motions. There was, let's see, what was that kid's show? Avatar? The last Airbender Avatar, the one with the kid with the tattoo on his head. He had a stick, and if you're 90s kids like me, you grew up watching stuff like that, you saw how useful it was. Now, I'm not saying this stick will turn into a magic glider and let me fly around, which I sure wish did, but you know. It's not perfectly balanced, but it works. It keeps animals off of me and gives me some room to work with. And I made this the length of my arms, because that's about how tall I am. And it has a little glow-in-the-dark thing so I can find it at night. I put electric tape on it just to hold everything where I wanted it for a little while. I was planning on taking it off and I didn't. Well, if y'all stuck with me this far, thanks for watching. And sorry that I speak in monotone. I don't really have that great tone inflections, but hey, you know, it works. The 3 basic weapons that people have, preppers especially, they have 3 kinds of weapons. They have a rifle for long range, a shotgun for home defense, which I'm really wishing I had a shotgun, but I can't afford it right now. They'll wait till later. And then they have a pistol. And the pistol is for like going out. If you have, do it legally, because the prison time and stuff like that is for carrying a gun illegally. It's not worth it. Just go take your courses. I'll be getting mine hopefully by the end of this year. If you're going to carry guns as a part of your bug out bag, at the very least, I'd say keep about 50 rounds of each kind. Like, right here with me, I have the 22, which is easy. I mean, this right here is 100 rounds, and that's simple. But I went to Walmart and got one of those little plastic tackle box containers. And each of these, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, 40, 60. This holds 80 because I have fishing stuff right here. This holds 80 rounds, plus the 30 I usually carry on my belt. And I mean, this weighs a good few pounds. This is like equal to the gallon of water, or, you know, it's just heavy. It's not the best thing to carry around. It's a fantasy, packing all your ammo in one bag and walking. 15 pounds is about the most average people can carry for long terms, especially if you aren't used to carrying a backpack. 50 pounds is probably your max. After a while, your shoulders will get sore. After about 8 miles, your shoulders and arms will become numb, and you'll have to stop and take a rest. It's just not feasible. And I mean, clothes, every little bit of stuff that you have in your backpack, your bug out bag, whatever you want to call it, every bit of that it contributes to overall weight. So you may think, oh, I can carry 3 days worth of food and hundreds of rounds of ammo and carry my jeans. No. I'm sorry, but it unless your bag has wheels, it's really not feasible. I don't even carry very much ammo. I carry 1 box each of ammo whenever I go out somewhere. Unless I know I'm going to need it, or unless I know for a fact that I'm going to need it, or possibly be in that situation. Like if I go camping, I'll carry my ammo can full. If I'm just going to like the store or something, pocket knives will work. They're not illegal. Just about every Texan has one. If I'm going out to the desert, I'll carry my pistol, and I'll carry my rifle. But I'll only carry about 100 rounds total of ammo, this and the other one. And I'm not saying keep it all loaded and ready to go. That's just not feasible. That just means you have so many magazines to take care of. It's confusing. And I know they have the tactical ammo. I know they have the tactical reloads stuff, and I don't like it. Just for a sheer fact, if I'm going to need that ammo, I'm going to need it then. If I'm shooting, I'm going to use all the ammo and then switch. I'm not just going to save 2 or 3, because that, I mean, honestly, how often are you going to be like, and I'm checking, because I do that every time I load up and unload. If I'm over here like bang, 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 and again, I'm keeping my finger off the trigger, and I need to reload, I mean, bang, 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 reload, bang, 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 bang. It's like, what's the point of using like 6 rounds of ammo out of 10 and then just having that 3? I mean, unless you have a sidekick over there reloading your magazines for you, don't do it. Just use what you have in your magazine. Switch magazines when you can. And I know a lot of people call these magazines, I know a lot of people call them clips. They're not clips. Uh, if you've ever had an M1 Garand, a clip is you force it down into the top full of ammo, and that's a clip. It clips in there. Magazine. But anyway, I digress. That's about the summary I have. I do not do Taekwondo lessons anymore. I'm looking into it though, but that'll be like New Year's resolution goal right there. So, best thing is situational awareness helps out a lot. Like, uh, just knowing what your situation is going to be going in. Like, is there any way that somebody's going to have a gun? Is there possibly, if I'm stranded in the house and there are riots and stuff out there, you gotta know people are armed. There's ways you can tell people have weapons. Some people will keep their hand close to their sides on which the firearm is at. And that's a good way to know. Some people keep their arm bowed out a little bit from their weapon. Like, some people carry their weapons in open view. And not to be too judgmental about that, but that's kind of crazy. That just assures that the crazy person with the gun is going to go after you first, because you could be a threat. You could stop them. When I get my license, I'm more than likely just going to always carry concealed where it's legal. The 30 odds or 30.06 and 30.07 laws or codes. One of them deals with open carry and one of them deals with concealed carry. If you see one sign and not the other, and it explains which one it is. If you see one sign and not the other, say you have your gun and say you're carrying it open. If you walk into a building that says, I believe the law is 30.07. I'm pretty sure that's the one. It states that you cannot carry openly. All you have to do is pull your shirt up and cover it. You don't necessarily have to go put your gun up. If they have both signs, then you gotta put your gun up. If there's a sign banning people from carrying concealed, all you gotta do is put your shirt up and have it open carry. There's just a ton of ways you can carry your weapons and not have to worry too much. I myself, whenever I go in public places, like I said, I have my knives, I have my walking stick if I'm going a long distance. If I am walking out of town, say to a friend's house that lives 3 miles or 4 miles or 5 miles out of town, and yes, I've walked before. In fact, I've gotten stopped for carrying an AK-47. And no, I was not carrying an AK-47. I was carrying my little 22. I was carrying this. And somebody saw it, and I had it. Let's see. I had it just like this. At the ready. Open and at the ready. Safety's on. It was at a 0 degree point. which means it was facing upwards. And I'm sure if you look on my Facebook, you can find it. I'm not sure if it's still on there. But somebody saw this and thought it was an AK-47. I know it looks like an AR-15. That's because it's supposed to. It's a tactical .22 rifle. And it's got good accuracy. But I had this strapped to my backpack on a 0-degree angle so that I could walk to town or walk through town into my friend's house to clean it. And somebody called it in as an AK-47. The thing about that is AK-47s are illegal. And if a police officer gets a call about somebody carrying a gun, they're going to respond. And they're usually going to respond in numbers. I had 2 cops pull up. And one did drive by. He wasn't sure it was me. He did drive by and came back around. And I was carrying completely legally. I stopped. I talked to him. I let him do his little inquiry, see if it's a stolen gun, if everything checked out, if I was legal, and everything passed, and I went on my way. In fact, he gave me a ride to where I was going. With all the news about mass shootings and people with AR-15s and AK-47s and assault rifles going on, people are scared. And me walking around a small town with a gun, most people don't see guns on a daily basis. Most people don't even see them on a yearly basis. And they were scared. And I was 100% within my rights, open carrying my rifle at the open and ready position. Now, it wouldn't have been legal if I had this closed and loaded. That would not have been legal. However, I carried it, and I didn't have a problem. In fact, I carried it 3 more times before I moved, and did not have a problem with the cops again. And one of these days I'll walk around town again and have my rifle with me, and people will say, "Oh my God, she's a mass murderer, police, police." I'm not going to shoot anybody, people. If I can help it, if I can deal with the situation peacefully, I'm not going to shoot anybody. If somebody, the use of deadly force is only legal whenever they're using deadly force towards you. If you have a reason to believe that somebody is going to face harm, like, I'm not saying, oh, a punch or slap. I'm saying if somebody's in real life and death situation, that is the only time deadly force is needed. And as stupid as it is, there is a law called Stand Your Ground law. And people have been sued over not using deadly force in this law. Their house was broken into. They shot the person that broke into their house but did not kill him. And he ended up suing them for personal injury. And I don't know what he was thinking. I mean, he broke into this guy's house and did that, and he's suing. But I digress. I need to get away from that. It makes me angry that somebody can be defending themselves and he got tried in I think assault case, something like that. I'll have to look it up and do more research on it. But if I have reason to believe that somebody is coming to hurt me, to kill me, to rape me, to do something like that, or if I'm living with somebody else and I have reason to believe that somebody is about to harm somebody, I will shoot to kill. No questions asked. I've been through it once. I haven't killed anybody because I didn't have a gun at the time, but I did hit him over the head pretty well, and he backed off and left. Uh, Again, walking stick came in handy. Uh, but just be safe, situational awareness, and I know this is a long video, but I'm testing out what YouTube sent me, so they said I can have longer videos, so we shall see how long it goes. Anyway, I need to go ahead and end it right there. There's only so much I can talk about with guns and stuff without looking like a crazy person, but that is 100% true. If somebody is coming to do me harm or do somebody I love harm and I have one of my guns with me, I will use deadly force and protect people I love and care about. Now, this doesn't mean that I won't try other ways to deal with it first. If I can body slam somebody and have it dealt with, then that's what I'm going to do. If they have a weapon, such as a crowbar, a gun, a rifle, a sword, something like that, and I can't get close enough to body check them, then I will use deadly force. And a friend of mine said, if you draw your gun, you better be willing to kill. And I mean, it's a military expression, I guess. If I draw my gun, I'm hoping I'm not going to kill, but I am 100% ready to kill somebody if need be. If I can shoot somebody's leg out, which I'm not a great shot just yet with the pistol, but if I can stop them by shooting them in their body, I'm going to do that. If I have to shoot them in the chest or head to get them to stop, if I think they're 110% crazy and they will not stop until somebody is dead, that's when I shoot to kill. Now, granted, it's different. Every situation is different. Every person is different. People talk about being so ready but never having to use their gun. I want you to take a minute to think about this. How do you react with that adrenaline? Do you freeze up? Do you just like completely freeze and not even know what to do? Your mind goes blank. If you have a gun pointed at your face, you're gonna freeze. It takes years to get the entire thing down to where that adrenaline can be put to use for self-defense and not just cause you to freeze, cause your heart to come out of your chest and be like, oh my God, what do I do, what do I do? Also, another thing, people think that shooting with blood on their hands, say you got hit over the head or assaulted and you're bleeding and got blood all over your hands, it's different trying to, again, unloaded, it's different trying to go like that and shoot with blood on your hands. It's 100% different. Blood, most of y'all know, has a kind of sticky nature. I look at the screen when I should look at the monitor. Some people are thinking that they'll have both hands to cock their weapon with to charge it, and sometimes that's right. Most of the time it's not going to be right. If you're injured in one of your hands, you better darn well be good with both hands, and you better be able to cock your weapon with one hand. Some people can belt charge their weapon. I haven't learned how to do that just yet. My sights are not good enough for that, and there's not enough room on the bore But all in all, there's so many things you have to think about to be ready with the weapon. First off, you have to know how to use it. Second off, you have to be able to use it efficiently. In survival situation, you're gonna have a set number of ammo. I mean, right now, if I was out in the middle of nowhere with my guns, even if I had everything with me, I'm gonna go ahead and reload and set it down. If I had my hiking backpack with me and had the ammo can in it, I would only have 280 rounds of 9mm and 150 rounds of 22. And if you're in the middle of nowhere, that might work. If you're in the middle of a big city and in the situation, and as impossible as it seems, if you're in like a Walking Dead situation, zombie situation, you gotta think how many rounds is it gonna take to put a zombie down? And I like the cut the head off better than shooting them. So one thing about swords is you don't ever have to reload. And you don't run out of ammo. You may break your sword, but you don't run out of ammo. My first weapon of choice is my walking stick. Second weapon, my pocket knives. The only as a last resort will I use guns. And I'm going to go ahead and end it there because I'm pretty much out of stuff to say. This is getting on to 50 minutes now. Almost 50 minutes. When in doubt, if there's any way to do it, call 911. Just be willing to protect yourself, but call 911 so they have that record. And the one thing you don't want to say is, I just shot somebody. If you have to shoot somebody, say there's been a shooting. Don't say I just shot somebody. Because the job of a lawyer is to try and put people in jail. And not lawyer, prosecutor. And it's their job. It's nothing personal. It really isn't anything personal. And I'm sorry if I've offended you in any way, shape, or form, but that's just my view. It depends on who's pressing charges against whom. If the defendant is the person, or the plaintiff is the person that I just shot and they were breaking into my house, you can darn well bet that they're going to try and put me in jail for using extreme force and trying to protect myself. Anyway, that's it for today, everybody. Again, do me a favor, drop a subscribe, drop a comment, hit that like button. Well, you don't have to hit the like button if you don't like the video, so. Again, since school has started for me, I'm probably going to pre-record these videos and set them up as a automatic thing. So if you don't see your comments in one video, try next week, because I'll upload videos and do what I can. Shout out of the week, and I wish I could put a little pop bubble right here. Shout out of the week goes to Zoe Candy. She started a new YouTube about her life, and it's going pretty well, I guess. Anyway, I don't know if she even wanted me to put that there, but anyway, y'all have a good day. And hopefully have a good week. I'll see y'all tomorrow. And again, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the screen. I should look at the camera. It's just hard to take my eyes off the screen. You know how all that moving kind of stuff gets. Anyway, y'all have a good day, and hopefully nothing will happen. It's too rough. Let's see. What should I do tomorrow? Oh, I know. Do me a favor. If you want something seen or discussed, drop it in the comments. Email me. Message me on Facebook if you have me on Facebook. Maybe I'll get the links. I doubt I'll get the links, but still. I'll try and find a link for it, so y'all can go ahead and do that. Anyway, tomorrow I'll talk about comfort food. Kind of off subject, but important in a survival situation. Anyway, I'll see y'all later.